Now we're ready for part 2. So that first part probably took 5 minutes. And now I've taken the Cuisinart tub off of the base, and this is, and my hands are very clean, and this is how I just get the little bit of extra off of the lid, just using a fingertip, almost like a miniature rubber spatula, to get all that off. And then I put it in the sink. Now it's important to get the blade out such that when you're pouring the liquid into the flour, you don't get the topple of the blade into everything. So again, you're going to use your fingertip rubber spatula. So you pick the blade straight up, I pick it straight up, and then I tilt it off to one side and let it drip for a while. And then again, I'm just going to use my fingertip, and each time I scrape something off, I just scrape it on the edge of the bowl. Yeah, and then I'll do the other blade. And this, you know, this seems like tedious, and you could skip it, but to me it makes cleanup a lot easier, and it's waste not, want not, and these are just really golden ingredients, so you don't really want any of them to go down the drain. So yeah, just a little careful cleanup, doesn't take that long. All right, good. So there's our liquid, and we'll let it sit there while I show you how to get our dry ingredients together. So you need one of these, a big strainer. You could do a fancy flour sifter, but this is so easy. Just sits on your mixing bowl. And we just do a cup of spelt flour and a cup of coconut flour. And actually, since we're doing oatmeal cookies, we have these other dry ingredients, the oats and the coconut, so we don't need as much flour, which makes the cookies all that more nutritious. So I'm just going to do 3/4 of a cup of spelt flour, and I put it right into the strainer. Done with the spelt. And now I'll do the same for the coconut flour. And it smells so good. It's so fun to work with coconut flour. It's like, who'd ever thought we'd be using the flour of the coconut? But this can sometimes get a little bit, get some chunks in it, so it's good to have the strainer. It helps fluff the flour. Okay, done with that. And then just like 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. So I just use the tip of the teaspoon here, because you don't want it to have that kind of salty, chalky taste, that too much baking soda. So 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Okay. And then we're just going to shake. So just shaking side to side, sifting. Helps to mix it and fluff it. And you can see the coconut flour chunks that collect at the bottom there. And then you can just use your fingertips to push them through. Give it a little pat to get the super fine dust to fall in. And then you're done with your friend the sifter. And now, and you're ready to pour the liquid into the dry. Super easy. And you can see how dark brown the liquid is, and that's from the molasses in the sucanat. And molasses has a lot of iron, as you may know. It's really good. And this is because the sugar isn't refined, it's not going to cause your blood sugar to do that crazy spike. It won't make your kids go spastic, these cookies. All right. Okay, so now before we do the more rough goodies, we want to have the liquid and the dry nice and combined. Sometimes, you know, the flour can get stuck in the wrinkles of the raisins, and you want your cookies to be nice and yummy. Now what you'll notice as you're mixing this is you'll think, this is more like cake batter. My gosh, this is really liquidy. Did I do this right? What is she thinking? But you'll notice over time, the coconut flour, it absorbs the liquid, and you just let it sit for a little while after mixing it, and it becomes really, really thick. Yeah? So even though you might feel like this is way too goopy, this is more like cupcake batter, just trust me. Okay. So there it is, the basic dough. Now let's add the fun stuff. We've got just 1/2 cup of shredded coconut. There it is. And half a cup of organic raisins. Again, all this is organic. I'm really into no GMO and organic. We want, you know, even the goodies, they can be nutritious. We want them to be nutritious. Okay, half a cup of raisins. And then oats. We want about 3/4 of a cup of oats. Okay. And you could add the chocolate chips. There's nothing that says you couldn't. But I'm going to wait on these for another recipe that we're going to do later this week. Lawn mowing is happening. Okay, so I love this chopper. My friend Deb gave it to me. Her husband, Dr. John, made it. So now I'm chopping the walnuts, and you could do this with a knife, or another fun way to do it is put the walnuts into a plastic bag and then lay it on your counter and whack the bag with a thick wooden spoon to break the walnuts up. And you take some aggression out too. Okay. All right, so there we have it. I want to cut myself on these blades. And then walnuts. Okay, and so now I come back to mix these in, and I'm like, oh, now it feels like cookie dough because the coconut flour had some time to really absorb the liquid. And you can see, this is looking like coconut, or this is looking like cookie dough. And again, this is oatmeal, coconut, raisin, walnut cookies. They're gonna be amazing. Okay. Ooh, one ingredient that would be good here, and this is optional, but I just thought of it and I love it. Vanilla. So here we have organic, pure vanilla extract by Singing Dog. So I'm just gonna splash in a bit and then remix, and we'll be ready for the scooping method. Okay. Oh my God, I wish smell could come through the video. You would be delighted with what you could sniff. Okay, so here we go. I put my parchment paper on the cookie sheet, and sometimes after the roll, it's gonna be curling up, and you can just with your fingernail give it a good crease to tame it. And then here's your ice cream scooper. I use 1.5 inches. You could have fun and do one of the little mini ice cream scoopers, and you make cookies about the size of a truffle. That's really fun. Okay, so I scoop to the edge, but really you want to push the heel of your hand in so there's a little bit of a dent, yeah, to make a cookie that's a reasonable size. And then there it is, the little dome. So super easy. And you can see I'm doing the hand rubber spatula scoop, and then that sort of presses it in and scrapes off a little bit of the bottom. And quite easy, and it makes really beautiful cookies like from the bakery.